Hello everybody, it is Colin here, and in this video I'm going to talk about traffic sources for beginners in CPA marketing. So obviously there are tons and tons of different traffic sources where you could get traffic from. However, not everything might be good or relevant for a beginner, because the more competition there is, the more money is to be made, but also the more money is to be lost. So I just popped up here 3 traffic sources which I think are personally good for beginners, and I will tell you why. So first of all, we have the social pay-per-click, which would be Pinterest, paid ads, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, just to name a few. Why? Because I think that most people are already familiar with these platforms because they use them themselves. If you are not an advanced marketer, these platforms are a little bit more easy to get started with. You can start with very small budgets, and you can gain a lot of experience that way. The key element here, I think, is experience, because you have to build up your experience, and the more experience you have, the more traffic sources you can test. However, for social, the connection between your personal profile and a business profile, it is of course different, but as you are already familiar with the platform more than, let's say, native or adult banner ads, this would make a lot of sense to start with. Then we have pop traffic, which is quite old school, but there's still a lot of money to be made there. The thing why I would recommend that, for instance, is because the clicks are very cheap. So you can get a lot of experience very fast. Even with a very small budget, you can get a lot of data. And in CPA marketing, we make conclusions based on the data. And if you have more data, you can make more conclusions. What works, what doesn't work, where the money is. So pop traffic would be recommended. However, you need a good tracking software for that. So it brings a little bit more cost, but the traffic is very cheap. Where social traffic, depending on the country, can get very expensive. Then we have a new form of traffic, which is quite interesting, called push traffic. So basically these are push notifications. They've been around for a while, but now is really the time that a lot of big marketers are jumping on this, because the traffic is relatively cheap and it's highly converting, apparently. I only done like, I think 2 or 3 tests with it, maybe like 500 clicks in total, and I broke even. And doing that on a new traffic source is like crazy, of course, because you should expect to lose money when you learn things. But in this scenario, yeah, it was quite good. It's quite interesting. Like, I didn't really know how to angle it and everything, but it's also really easy to set up. It takes like 5 minutes. However, the most important thing I want to stress is, because somebody asked it in my Facebook group today and I gave like a huge answer, master one traffic source first. Like, I chose social pay-per-click, and I recommend everybody to do like stick to one traffic source until you hit like 100K per month. So everything is like hella serious, or maybe more than 10K at least. So you know the ins and outs, you know everything. Like, if you know a little bit about every single traffic source, you basically know nothing. Because to compete at the highest level, you need to know all the ins and outs of the traffic source. You need to be able to crush the competition, get the ROI up, scale more, more money, more problems. So you really need to look at the traffic source, like you want to master it, which also a good one. I didn't write this down, but Bing would be a good one to use for beginners in the search category. But basically you want to choose one and stick with it. Even if it's not profitable at the beginning, even if you cannot make it work in the beginning, that's common. Like, there's no traffic source which is like hella easy. People ask me like, oh, I tried Instagram, it's not working, I will try Bing. No. Why? Because you will try Bing, you will spend the same amount of money, you will lose it again, and then you move to something else. This is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and it's not. However, if you spend adequate amount of money, adequate amount of time in this, you will learn to master a traffic source, and then you will have crazy ROI. Because most people aren't going to do it. And the ones who do, they crush it, they crush the competition. And as soon as you are at a level, maybe like between 10 and 100K, like I told my group 100K, I think that's like a realistic number, which like you really above all the rest of the marketers doing like CPA. There's like basically, if you do 100K per month, you have like the top dogs doing maybe $1 million a month, and everybody else is below you doing like between $500 and like 100K, or like maybe 10K. Because the most part is like between of the people are between like $10 and maybe $1,000 a month. They can never push beyond that boundary because they either don't plan. So I have the cash flow video, which is really important on that, or they don't master the traffic source. You need to learn the changes every single day, stay up to date, and exploit the weaknesses of these platforms by mastering it. And if you don't master it, then you probably don't know these weaknesses. So get into detail, focus on one traffic source until you have a comfortable amount of money piled up, and then diversify into different traffic sources. This doesn't mean you don't have a backup traffic source. Like there should always be a backup traffic source. For instance, if you run social PPC on Facebook and Facebook wipes all your ad accounts, you have nothing. So you should always have a backup, but it doesn't mean that you spend all your money there. You maybe spend like 1% of your money there just to test the waters, that you at least have a clue of what's going on, even if it's only theory and no implementation yet. You have the ID ready. So you can switch if needed, but you're not going to, because first you're going to master that one traffic source. So that's basically all I want to say. I have 3 traffic sources written down for you here, which you can test. I added Bing as a 4th option. Pick one of these 4, stay with it until you make $100,000 in revenue, and then move on to the next. That is my advice. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.